What's up folks, welcome back to the channel and garage. There's my 940 Volvo. This is model 90 and the engine is B230 FT, and I have a coolant fan issue which I think is quite common, I believe. I'm not a certified mechanic or any kind of professional, so everything I learn from the comments from the videos and I search from the internet. And in this video I will show you the problem and I will do the troubleshooting, and I hope that we can fix the problem. I have a helper here. Outi, come on. Tänne. Sivu. Outi is Australian Shepherd, 5 years old, and he is visiting my garage this week, which is nice, and he promised to help me. Check this out. He likes yeah, that's a turbo engine. I went through many Finnish Volvo forums and web pages. Unfortunately, they are in Finnish, so I don't have the links or any views of those pages or forums in this video, but I try to explain what I found out. This my car is year model 1992, and now I know that there is some variation between the earlier models and the newer ones, but I don't know what kind of differences. Sorry about that. And I have also removed the air conditioning system from my car to save some weight, but I have some spare parts, and you can see here this one, and there is a place for 3 switches, pressure switches, and these are I don't remember the order, but one of them is half speed for a cooling fan, and the second is full speed. So there, if you have air conditioning, you have sensors here, and then there is a temp sensor for ECU. There is actually 2 temperature sensors. The first one is for the temp gauge and the second one is for ECU. And the ECU temp sensor is if you go straight from the 3rd piston and under the intake manifold, it's there. I will show you later. And it will give the information to ECU, which controls the fan. And then we have a relay. My relay was hanging here. I don't know exactly the right position. I will try to find a right place for it, and I have also removed the battery to get some more room. And these wires, they are in left, they go straight to fan, and the middle one, it gives or gets the information from the ECU. And actually this was not connected in my car. I have reconnected, but it was disconnected. I don't know the reason, but I have found something else. I will tell you that later. And there's the red wire, and the power comes into relay. So power in ECU and the power to the cooling fan. What I found out, you see the yellow and black wires disconnected, and they are going down there. You can see there's an extra sensor in there, in water hose, and the wires goes here. I don't know if the previous owner tried to bypass the ECU and have connected these wires in the middle of the relay. I don't know, but I thought that could be the thing here. But next I will start troubleshooting, I found out that if I ground these pins, the other one is half speed and the second is full speed, so then we will know if the fan is working both speeds and if the relay is working. After that we will figure out is the ECU working as it should, but first I will troubleshoot the relay and the fan. Now I have connected the battery with the cables, and I have a ground here, and I have removed the ECU connector from the middle. So first I will contact the right pin and we should get a half speed, and the left one should be the full speed. If the fan goes on, then I probably know that the relay is okay and the motor of the fan is okay, but we are living exciting moments. Oh yes, the half speed is working and the full speed. All right, perfect. Next I will check, well actually I will run the engine hot, and then I will remove the ECU sensor, temp sensor connector, and if the fan goes on, then we will know that the ECU is probably working. The ECU works like that if I remove the temp sensor cable, the ECU doesn't know the engine temp, so it will turn the fan for full speed. But now I have been thinking that because this connector was originally loose, could this be the problem? But we will find that out soon when I have run the engine hot, because there might be some bad connection or something. Now I have run the engine hot. This temp gauge, well, I have fixed that gauge myself, so I don't trust it 100%, but this upper hose, water hose, is hot, and it's actually 69 degrees, so the thermostat is open, and the cooling fan is still, it doesn't do anything. So it seems that there is something else going on than just a bad connection there or loose connection. So next I will shut the engine down and I will remove the ECU temp sensor connection. I will show it to you. It's a little bit bad place there. And after that I will turn the engine on, and if the fan goes on because the ECU doesn't get the signal from the temp sensor, then we know that, or then we might know that there is nothing going on in the ECU. It might be the ECU temp sensor, maybe. The ECU temp sensor is little bit tricky, or actually it's a tricky place. I will try to put the camera that you can see something. Yeah, so this here, the first one, this is the temp gauge sensor, and this is knocking sensor, I think, and the black wire and the gray connector back there, this one is the ECU temp sensor cable, and the connector is back there. You really can't see it, but I will now disconnect that and we will see what's gonna happen. With my middle finger, and I use my other fingers to pull it out, you can see the sensor. It's quite deep there, so it's a quite tight place. But next I will turn the engine on. Now it should start because it's warm. As you notice, the engine starts a little bit bad when the sensor is off, or I have disconnected the ECU temp sensor, but now the fan is working. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's in full speed like it should. So now the ECU gave the signal to the relay to put the fan on the full speed, because it doesn't get the signal from the temp sensor. So when I shut down the engine, the fan stayed on. Then I connected the ECU temp sensor and the fan was still going on. Then I turned the ignition switch, power on, the fan went off. So I believe that then the ECU gave the information for the relay that it doesn't need cooling, so that was the reason why the fan went off. Then I turned the engine on and tried to heat it up, and the fan was quiet, it doesn't turn on. So my guess is now that I have something going on with the ECU temp sensor. I have now read quite many things from Finnish Volvo forum, and I found out something. I show you just a sec. I found a chart that shows the resistance of the ECU temp sensor down there, and then I already measured with my multimeter. I turn it into resistance area 2K, and I measured the resistance from the sensor when the engine was cold, then a little bit warm, and then I tried to run it hot, and then I got a different result. I will show you that in a few seconds, but before that I will show you the chart I found from the Finnish forum. So here it is, and this should be exactly the same sensor I have here in my Volvo, and this my Volvo is year model 92 B230 FT engine. So the resistance in plus 20 Celsius should be around 2200 up to 2700 about, and when the engine is hot plus 80 it should be about 290 to 364 about, and on the left you see the whole chart. And so the resistance when the coolant is about 100 Celsius, we should get under 200 ohms as a resistance. But then next I will show you my results. So I turn that off. So plus 20 we should have around 2200 to 2700, but here in the garage I have about 20 Celsius. I got 5.35, so it's 5350, so it's a way off from what it should be. And then there was a warm engine 680, and I try to run the engine here in the garage as hot as possible, so I got 400. So it's not even close, and I think the engine was hotter than plus 80 Celsius, so I might have some kind of issues with the ECU temp sensor. I would like to check it, so my plan is now to put everything back. I will put the battery back in, I will put all the covers back in the car, and then I will do a test drive. I will try to drive the engine as hot as possible, and after that we will check if the fan goes on, because I have now cleaned, it was quite dirty, the connector was quite dirty, so I have cleaned that. so it should be now okay, and I have connected everything. So I'm wondering if now I can run it almost as hot that the coolant will boil. Then we might be able to turn the fan on. But then we will also measure the resistance again, because if we don't get any numbers like this, then we know for sure that the fault is in the temp sensor. But next I will put all back together, and I will do the test drive, and I will use my multimeter once again. As you saw, my younger son helped me to warm up the engine, and we actually went on the road, and I put my foot on the pedal, and we even spin the rear tires a little bit. It's raining, so it was quite slippery, and the engine was quite warm. I used my thermometer and I measured the temperature from the both sensors, and it was a little bit over 80, about 83, so it should be quite hot. The coolant wasn't boiling, and we measured the resistance from the sensor, and it should be at 80, it should be about 290 to 364, and it was 453. So it's a way off. I don't have a clue what kind of resistance would give a signal to ECU to turn the fan on. I don't know, maybe about 100 something, 70 to 190 maybe. That's just my guess. So we are way off from that. And so I'm thinking that I might have an issue with the temp sensor. That might be the issue at this time. And I actually found a part number. It's 2080130069, and I was quite lucky because I found they are using the same sensor in newer Volvos, and it's exactly the same. So I found one from Autodoc, and I already ordered it. It was about 40 euros plus about 10 euros the delivery. So it was about 50 euros here in Finland, and I already ordered that. I have a strong feeling that now I found the reason why the fan doesn't go on. We might have a bad sensor. We will see that soon after I receive the package from the Autodoc, and I will do a new video, because I know that this is quite common problem in at least in 940 Volvos, that the fan doesn't work. And that's why there is this, the previous owner had this temporal fix. He put there another sensor and used the shortcut, but I would like to use the original system. Thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up, comments down below, that would be great. Especially if you know in what temperature, or actually what is the resistance of that sensor that gives the signal to ECU to turn the fan on. I would appreciate that information. I know that in newer Volvos, for example V70, it needs about 105 degrees Celsius the temperature before the fan goes on. But in this car I would like to know what is the right resistance for turning the fan on. But like I said, please give me a thumbs up, comments down below, and if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, now it's a perfect time to do that, and also ring the bell. Thanks for watching, see you soon.